everyone, it's Lisa Walker. Just going to do a quick walkthrough on what I do when I create some images for a Facebook ad. Just made up these ads and I like to make them nice and bright and colourful so they pop on the page, which can also help if you use some nice colours. So here's an example of some that I've just done for a client yesterday. Now these particular ones I've just done all the same text. And we're just going to test out the different images, and then when we find an image that converts well, then we're going to maybe do another one with the same image but different text. So you've got to sort of play around and test things a bit. So basically what I would do, so even here, if you look at these here, when they're smaller, they still kind of pop, even though they're tiny. You can't really read the text. On the side of a Facebook ad, they're quite small, so you want something that kind of pops out. And even doing something on black and white and then adding some colour is good as well. So I use Canva, which is what a lot of people use because it's quick and easy. And I'll show you just what I do. So basically you want to, if you're going to do a link to a website, the size that you want to make the ad size is 1200 wide by 628 in height. That's what size you want your canvas to be. And this is, this program is great because it's way quicker and easier than using something like Photoshop. So say for example, I'll just take something that I've already done, something like this for example, and then I will move this out, enlarge this image out. And then you can move it around to sort of however where you want to position it, for example. So I'm going to do this one because this particular one is, say, about events. So this is a picture of, say, like a microphone at an event. And it's quite a nice light, grayscale colour that the colours will pop on it. So basically what I would do is I would take his logo, for example. Now this one, his logo happens to be colourful, which is, luckily. Now you do actually also have to measure all the text that you're using too, because you're only allowed 20% if you want your ad to be approved on Facebook. Now, for example, I'll go here to the left-hand side and I'll go to Elements, and I'll just choose some shapes. I mean, you can do anything you want, but this is just what I've kind of done for these ads for an example. So say, for example, I might take a triangle and then I'll move that down smaller, play around with it, position it where I want, change it to, say, a colour, one of the colours that might be, kind of in this, in his logo maybe, to try and sort of match it a little bit. So say we'll just go something like that. Now, the other thing you can do, which to make it a little bit different too, instead of having solid blocks, you can click on transparency and you can lighten them so that the background still kind of comes through. See, or you can overlap different shapes so you can still see where they overlap. So say for example, I'll do that and maybe I'll add like another triangle. I don't know, just for example, sake of this video, I'm just going to do something basic, okay? And then I'm going to just choose another color, and then I'll make that one transparent as well, say. If I don't want it to be quite as bright and I want it to sort of, show through the different shapes. Okay, and then we'll say we'll use another one. And then I'll make this, say, like a blue. And then transparency, so a little bit see-through. And then maybe we'll just move that up here. Here. This is just really to be able to add a little bit of a colour pop to the ad, you know what I mean? And something where you might be able to overlay text. So now what I would probably do is I would come to the text on the left-hand side, and you'll see that there's a lot of them that are already pre-programmed that you can use, or you can actually just, make up your own here as well by just clicking on one of these, and then you can change the font and the colours, that type of thing. So I'm just going to trash that. So what I'll do for this exercise is I'm going to just use, say, something that's already here. So say, for example, I want to add a little circle to this too, just as an example. What I would do is I just, maybe add a circle in. And then I would just usually delete out this particular text if I don't want to use the text that's already here. Okay, so say I might want to colour this circle. So say I want to have it, say, the pink, actually, no, I'll make it the orange. And then I want to maybe have, I don't know, maybe the ring of it, I might have a different colour, just say like that, for example. And then maybe I don't want that transparent, or I might want it solid. I can just leave it however I want. And then I might want to go and add some text on top of that. So it is a bit of playing around. It can be time consuming, but if you actually make some ads that end up converting, it's well worth it, you know what I mean? So now I'll just add this pre-programmed text, say for example. Now I'm also got to be, wary about the 20% text rule as well, right? So mine might just take up this text here. I might make this text black so it stands out, just for example. I could even change some of the colours now. Maybe I'll just write something by your tickets here, just for example. Okay, so that's my text. Okay, and then I've also got this text on this logo that I've got to be aware of as well, because that's going to also include in my 20%. So then what I would do is, once I've made this, I'm thinking, oh, I'm happy with that. It looks quite cool, you know, it's a bit of a colour pop. What I'll do is I'll download it, and then we're going to go over to the tool to check the percentage while that's downloading. I'm just going to find this. I have actually got this bookmarked, but I'll just quickly find it here. So basically facebook.com/ads/tools/text_overlay. You can just Google it anyway. And then I will save this picture, say to just my desktop. What is it, Frisco? And then don't look at my desktop, I've got loads of stuff on here at the moment. So just for example, Frisco, just find that image. Okay, now I'm going to upload it to this grid tool, and it's going to check it for me. And what I would do is, if I allow it to go a bit bigger, I usually do. I try to get it as big as I can, for example. So you'll see here, it's kind of, the text has ended up, even though this probably isn't, it's probably okay, this ad in a way, but the way they've made this grid tool, it's making the text in all these different boxes. So what I've got to do is I've got to tick any box that the text is in, which is 32%. But really, if I play around with this and just move this text down a little bit, all that text there would actually fit inside that box. And that text there would actually fit inside one box. So if I can fit all this text into 3-4 boxes, which I can if I just move the text around, and even if they check it, it'll probably get passed anyway as a rule. It's just that we use this tool for a guide. So say, for example, I'm just going to move this text up a bit, so I know that it's going to fit in those 3 boxes. And I know that if I move this logo down a bit, the text is going to fit in that box. So if I've only ticked 4 boxes, it's only 16%. So if I can tick 5 boxes, it's 20%. You're not allowed any more than that. So I know for a fact that this probably is okay, this ad. It's just that I need to move it around. But I don't think that Facebook checks if you haven't got the text in the right box. They just look at it as an overall tool. So I know, I'm pretty much guaranteed that this is going to work. But what I would do to be 100% sure, if I was a bit, don't want to submit it and have to redo it, is I might just move my placements up a bit. So I know for exactly, if I'm looking at that box, that if I move things around, that's going to probably fit into those boxes now. And then I could rearrange my images. But I actually think that would have got passed anyway. So basically, that's it. And then I would just save it and then upload it, as your ad. So you definitely use Canva. It's way quicker and easier than using Photoshop or anything else. You can play around with stuff. You've got all these different options, that you can try if you don't like something. It's just an amazing, useful tool that you'll absolutely love, and you'll be able to start, once you start having an idea, you'll start knowing, where to, what to do for an idea. You know what I mean? Like, what I'll sometimes do, I do scrapbooking, so I'm used to kind of laying out things. But what I'll do is I might come up with an idea, like, for example, this ad here. I did this splash of paint, okay, and I just Googled some paint splashes. You do have to make sure your images that you're getting are copyright and stuff as well. And then I added this circle here to add this text. And then I kind of came up with the idea because this ad is actually about global network. So then I kind of, I had this here, and then all of a sudden I thought, oh yeah, why don't I just go and search a globe, you know what I mean? And then I could put that in the circle, and then that kind of represents, what I'm actually talking about for this particular ad, you know what I mean? And then position the text where you think it's going to look, the best. I could even have it here, but I feel as if it looks a bit disjointed. I mean, you can have it just here, but I feel it looks a little bit disjointed. I like things to overlap a little bit and feel like they're kind of all in one a bit more. That's just kind of how that's what I prefer, the look of that. So yeah, so use Canva, awesome tool, get your Facebook ads up and use colours that pop. So